This is not the end of van life. A mere extension of it. A run around, a get around vehicle, and a micro camper. Not so much miles for smiles, but more so smiles for miles, in the fact that you get 80 miles per gallon if you drive it like a nun with arthritis in her left wrist. Anyway, she's a 1 litre, 3-cylinder, 68 horsepower go-kart. She may have a few things letting her down, like it sounding like a B-32 bomber when you reach above 60 miles an hour, or the fact that the clutch feels like it's made from digestive biscuits. But double the MPG of the van, sometimes even triple if you behave yourself on the gas, means that we can get double the adventures. Overnighters, out in the woods, up north, all around the country, she can take us for less than a tank of fuel, which really is about the same as a round of drinks. Unless you're in London, then that's going to cost you the same as a detached house. Now this beastie is a 2008 5-door. Which I'm pretty buzzing about, and it's got these special opening windows on the side that I remember my friend's parent that used to take me to school when I was a young boy had on their Ford Ka. Onto the boot. This is probably where you're wondering, is this a micro camper or a dog's bed? Because there isn't really much chance of you sleeping, well, if really doing anything in the back of here. But I tell you something, with the seats folded down, which they might just do if you pull the front ones forward, you get a little bit more space. Now, we'll talk about the build specs, but I think it's gonna have to be a case of losing the passenger seat. If we can get rid of that, then we can build a bed, single sort of width from front to back of the vehicle. What that's gonna do for us is open up this area. By removing the front seat and having a bed that comes in line with this front dash, when we open the passenger door, it's gonna give us this full area underneath the bed to put day sacks, Bergens, anything that we might need for the camping experience. So the fact that this thing will take me from Cheshire to the Hebrides and back on 40 quid has got me pretty excited. It's opening up a whole new realm of freedom, really. I've worried since leaving the army with the van of going too many places, of spending too much money, because I am limited, I am on a budget. And the fuel amount, it became ridiculous. 25 miles per gallon if you get anywhere with haste. If you were to drive a little bit slower, then you might see 30 if you were lucky. But 80 out of this thing, the world's our oyster. I'm gonna start on the car away from the van. What I'm gonna do is take it back to the garage and work on it there. There's a few ideas that I need to play about with. I don't want this system to be permanent. I want to be able to unbolt the seat, put it in the garage, and then be able to slot this wooden structure into the back of the car in 10 minutes. Now, that's the idea. If we can make that work, that's going to be ideal. So what we're going to need 2x1, some ply for the bed length, and that's about that really. Electrical wise, I'm thinking we're going to run off the Jackery 500 that I've got, which will power me for multi-day adventures. That can be left under where the passenger seat would have been, and then we'll be in a good place. Maybe looking to improve the carrying capability of the vehicle by adding a roof box at some point, but we'll see. And it's a pretty stealth camper. So with fear of me starting to waffle, let's get this back to the garage and let's start the build. So I didn't end up back at the garage. I decided to come down to the field, move location of the van, bring the car down as well. And this is where we are now. There we are, we've got the setup going. Now, it's been a quick minute because the weather dropped off the absolute deep end. Freezing temperatures, hurricane force winds, and it wasn't quite the right time and place to start building a car camper. More a time of hunker down, not to mention I got super ill. You could hear my voice in the previous clips not sounding the best. Now I'm just getting over it and I'm just getting back into it and we're ready to crack on now. So we need to get on with this build. The only thing is, because I've been ill and been away for so long, oh, sorry, I'm just dodging the massive puddles that we've had from the storms that have been ravaging this area. I've got to head south in the next few days because I'm heading down south for Christmas to Becky's parents, and we're chilling out there over Christmas. So basically what I'm doing now is packing down Bo, hence all the mess over there and stuff. I'm packing down Bo, figuring out what I need to take with me on the road in the car, and then I'm going from there to visit some of my family members and then bouncing down for Christmas there. So before I go anywhere, I've got to whip this seat out because I can't be lugging this round and having crazy mess all over the place. So I've got to take this seat out and I'm gonna leave it here in the van for now until I figure out somewhere to ditch it at a later point. So in order to get this seat out, it looks like we're gonna need some sort of Torx. I have moved back to the GoPro for this filming section because I just want it to be easy. I want to be able to have that wide angle that we've got in here. It's not punched in like it is on the Sony. And also I was having some technical issues with my audio. All these are hard to get undone. I've had to resort to my ratchet setup because the standard like Allen key style Torx wasn't quite enough to get the job done. So here we are. Janky, but it works. Harder than I thought. Yeah, man, look at the real estate that frees up with that seat out. Oh my god, you get loads of room. We take that down as well. Man, that's about 7 foot from front to back. What I am interested in is if I can lay down in it without having to pop this down behind me, because if I can, oh, that'd be ideal. Not quite. Actually, let me pop you over there. You know, I can just about, but it'd mean that I'd have to put the bed lower than that drawer there, and then I'm going to lose real estate underneath it. So I don't really think it's worth it. It's better to have the bed higher, have more storage underneath it, and then I'm in a good place. Look at me trying to spice this up already with the sheepskin rug and the wool blanket. Hey, that's cashmere actually, so we're doing it stylish. I'm just trying to decide, and I can't quite figure it out yet. The bed length is a little bit too short. If I just run like a bed platform right up to the bench seat here, and then have this foamed up to it, and then use that as like where your feet go, then you've got like a couch across the back there that's all one height, and you can have your legs down and across here. It'd make sleeping slightly more uncomfortable, but it then does mean that you can differentiate between the boot and the front living quarters, which I quite like, because it then means if you just pop your boot open, you can chuck your duffel bag in down there if you go to the gym or whatever, or that's where your clothes live, or you have like a plastic box that lines the bottom of this with like your cooking equipment in and stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out at the minute because it's all a bit up in the air. I think I'm going to give it a few days and just sort of mull it over in my head, because although it's not permanent, it'd be nice to get it right first time, but we'll see. Hello, we are back at the unit and it is time to get on with the car. Now, I'm going to show you how I've got it set up at the minute with the pieces of wood that I've put in, and that is what the general configuration of the bed is going to look like. Now, I've got to apologise for the audio moving forward. The mic that I was using before there was a little bit of bleeping going on, so we're back to the standard mic on the camera. So let's get it done. So I've got these lengths running front to back, and they're going to make up the general shape of the bed that we're then going to lay this big old piece of 9mm ply on top of and cut to shape. and that's pretty much going to be the bed structure that we're going to go for. First things first, as you can see, these lengths of wood are too long, sticking out the back, even though they're at the front of the vehicle. Now I think they're 2.4 metre, so we've got to cut the ends off these so they'll actually fit inside the car. Quick mark up, and we're laughing. Blow it outwards so it doesn't end up in the boot, causing us more dramas and work. Now those are both fitted in nicely, I can put a piece in that goes from there to there, and that'll conjoin those two, and I can sit them flat while they'll sit across the back of the seat that dips down here. At this rate, it might actually be removed on the moon's out. So that length up there is in, and now I've just added another one here. I'm going to take this out again and screw that in. You don't need to see that though. It's just rinse and repeat in the same process. Although, we are losing light. Hello, it is a new day. I ran out of light last night. But I've been for a haircut. I'm finally short-haired again, instead of the long mop that you've been seeing for, it's not really a good entrance, is it, for the new fresh trim? But yeah, we'll get on with it anyway. Right, this is what I've been getting up to. I've put 4 legs on this, one in each corner, one down there, and one here. Oh, just hit my head on the thing. Then we've got a leg there at the rear and a leg there at the rear, and the centre balances on the seat that is folded down. This now is pretty sturdy and good to go. So, what I've cut out is this panel that's going to sit on top. Like so. We're going to chip that down there. Slides in. And then we're going to screw it down. Okay, so that's now in and in place, and looks pretty cool to be fair. But this section here, where it's like missing 9mm ply, I'm going to cut out a smaller section of that now to sit on here, and it'll hinge up. And that just means that I can get access down into the storage in the boot there. So you've got the bed over the top of it, and you've also got the storage down below. Right, that's sanded and good to go. I'll have to put a hinge on that at some point, but let's get these beasties in. We have a bed, and I'm super buzzing with that, to be honest. Excuse me, because it looks awesome. Check this out, this is now your picture from the rear. We've got the cushion that run the full length that I can lay in there. We've still got the driver and passenger seat, so you can bring that driver's seat tilted forward all the way to the steering wheel and have loads of room in this seat to just chill on an evening and then get yourself up onto the bed. Sweet as a nut, and it's not inhibiting any of the driving faculties in there, so it's not going to cause you any dramas when driving on the road. I can fit a 120 litre issued Bergen in there, and then you've got the storage off to this side. If you lift that up and you can get under there, I will put some hinges on that at some point. Rear passenger door, you've got all of that room under there, which you can see better from the front. Serious real estate, man. You can get loads of stuff under there, get all your gear, and you've got your bed to chill out on. And do your thing. Right, I've got to punch out from here now, guys, but that is looking cool. I'm glad we finally got the bed in. I'm going to pull out of here, and then over the next few days I'm going to be doing some titivation to sort out bits and bobs. We've got the bed in, let's talk about the electrics, let's talk about lighting in there, cooking, how I'm going to do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a camper van. You can get in there, you can sleep the night. Yeah, it's kind of like a day van sort of thing, but I'm buzzing with it, man. It's just freedom, and it's so cheap to run. I was like driving, and I got 48 miles per gallon, and that was driving not like a nun. So, I'm gonna dip now, and I'll catch you when I'm ready to carry on with it. Now, excuse me if I have to make a little bit of haste while filming this, because the rain is upon us, and I don't fancy getting absolutely drenched. So, the build itself, I wouldn't say is complete. There's still bits that I want to titivate and make a little bit more functional, but these are the basics that are going to get us out for overnight trips and multi-day trips. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, at a fraction of the price of going away in the van. So without buggering about, let's show you what we've got up to. Now, you've seen the bed that I've erected over the space of this video. That just gives me the ability to camp overnight and for those multi-day trips. It's pretty cozy, and what I've got over to the right here is my old military sleeping bag. And what I can do is throw that straight in there. That wasn't as smooth as I thought, but I can chuck that straight in there. You're good to go, and you get a bit of gonk for the night. Down here, what I actually can do that I've been storing this bag inside is I can fit a military 120 litre Bergen. That's brilliant. I have to zip one side pouch off, which I can slot under here in the little cubby that I showed you earlier in the video. Pull that out, zip it back on, and I'm good to go and do a little bit more bushcrafty aspects out in the woods. The usability of this rear seat. Now at the minute I've got my driver's seat set back quite a bit. I can just about get in here. But once you've parked up for the night and you're good to go, at the touch of a button, you can push this forward, lean forward into the front and push this all the way forward. Now, that gives you, with your bed set up over there, a little bit of a chill place to enjoy with your feet up, chilling out on your laptop or whatever it might be, watching your Netflix on your phone, and you're good to go. As you can see under the driver's seat, I've got some British Army 24-hour rations, and I've got some other ideal bits that you should be carrying in your vehicle at this time of year anyway, because of the cold weather. If you get stuck, you get embanked in the snow, something like that, then you want to make sure you've got something like a wool blanket, some food to keep you warm, keep you surviving if you are stuck in a snowdrift, anything like that. It doesn't really apply to people down south, but if you're in the north or you're up in Scotland or somewhere and you get stuck, then you ain't gonna make it, mate. So what I do usually carry in there as well now, I've left it back at the ranch for the minute, is a small shovel, which I'll leave down below. And they're a great compact bit of kit that's going to get you out of Dodge if you either get bogged in or you get stuck in snow. In the underneath storage here, I've got my Jackery Explorer 500, and that's just the power station that I'm going to be using for this build. I plug it straight into the electronic port that the car provides, straight into the front of the Jackery, and then the alternator's powering that and getting it charged back up as you're on the move. So this bit of kit then, it is the Jackery Explorer 500. It's got the 240 watt inverter on the front, 3 USB outputs and a 12 volt output there. And you can check how much you've got on the front. So that's a good bit of gear to have. So behind that then, I've got my electrics, I've got my MacBook to do my editing and all those sort of bits. I've just got a warm jacket off to the side here. And underneath here, I've got a road map, just in case, you never know if you run out of battery or that power bank's dead, even though it charges all the electrics in here. If something happens to that, then you know you're a bit off grid and you're buggered. In the door panel then, a couple of rolls of bog roll. You can't actually fit full ones in there, so I've just got 2 half ones. Good to go. I've got a slim pair of gloves just to keep the old wind chill at bay. And in the front bit there, I've just got a super ultralight Montane podium jacket, which is a super lightweight, windproof and highly waterproof jacket. Like I mentioned before, the idea of the build was that I had loads of room under this bed, and that's exactly what I've got. I've got my toolkit, frying pan, I've got a big bag for life there, which has got all my cooking and food utensils in. Got a little bit of extra water here. Hello, boy. Come on, boy. Hello. This is Buster. Buster, say hello. Go on. Yeah. Yes. Oh, are you thirsty? Come on. Yes. Yes. Oh. Good boy. Oh, you are thirsty. Oh, not back in the bottle, mate. I don't want you back, boy. Slobber. Right, go on then, boy. Oh, wait, go on. So, obviously behind that, I've got my food equipment. No, it's as soon as he hears food, isn't it? What, Buster, you stay there, boy. And you can get access to the rear there for your food and your bits and bobs. On the inside, when you're in bed, here, what I've got is just these little puck lights. Turn those on and you're good to go. It just gives you a little bit of a reading light slash you can see what you're doing. If it were that you were to cook inside, then do any other bits and bobs that you'll do in your campers. Like I say, it is far from done. There's loads of little bits I want to do. I'd love to have just some fairy lights going around the ceiling, stuff like that. I'm going to do a flap out from the bed for in the rear, so there's a sort of like tray that comes out so I can cook on that rather than having to mess around, cook on the bed or figuring out where to cook at the minute. So I'm going to make some improvements, and then we'll talk you through a full tour and stuff like that. But, you know, like my door panels, I've just got this bit of gear here, because these cars tend to steam up as it is quite easily. I've just got a quick grab pouch, which has got a couple of first field dressings, like Israeli bandages and tourniquets in there, just in case you run into any like major collisions on the road. I've got a couple of chicken legs in there, which is my snacky bit coming up, crunchy, as well as my sunglasses. Yeah, centre tray, water bottle, a few charging cables for the phone, stuff like that. And then my beloved, out of the van, Karcher window vac, which you just press the button and you're good to go. That just gets rid of all the condensation off the inside there. What I have got on order is some reflective insulation, which I'm just gonna chuck up against the windows with some suction cups, and that'll just cover the windows, stop people looking in, bounce back some heat, and give you a bit of privacy. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. We've got a great little day van that's just here now that I can use, go away on adventures, and does amazing MPG. So yeah, if there's any questions about this build or any ideas that anyone's got, then throw them in the comment section, let me know what you think, and look forward to the adventures that are going to come in this, as well as the adventures in Bow, as well as the adventures on the bike, if that's something that people are down to look at, and anything out in the woods and all that good pish. It's a new year, it's a new dawn, and I'm sure that's a song. Is that on James Bond? It's a new year. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to know as soon as I upload another video. Signing out. Peace. It's Jake. For God's sake, boy, you're supposed to be a professional. Stop licking your